My testimony with lust. This is a topic that I really recommend watching with somebody else, or if it's sensitive, not watching, but I just have to give that warning before. So, what is lust? Okay. Lust is looking at somebody, same sex or opposite sex, with lustful desires. And I just use the word lust in the same definition as lust, but it's basically looking at someone in a sexual manner for your own gain. Okay. And I believe I was 12 years old. In the 7th grade, I had two friends that are specific to the story, who will not be named, but we had a sleepover at one of their houses. And what do 12-year-olds do as sleepovers, right? They play games, they jaw jack, they just talk and do whatever 12-year-olds do, you know. And so at the time, I remember I was grounded from playing Fortnite because I failed my 7th grade classes. And this was like one of the first times I was breaking one of my parents' rules. And I just decided at this sleepover to play Fortnite with my friends on the Switch. And it was one of the, it was like this risk that made me feel, I guess, good about my decision. It was like that feeling of, oh, I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. And so I was playing video games with my friends. And one of my friends grabs my phone, starts recording me, and he's like, I'm gonna send it to your parents. And I'm like, okay, all right. And you're not gonna do that. So I chased him around the house. We were in the basement at the time. I'm chasing him around the basement. We go upstairs. I chase him upstairs. And keep in mind, there's 3 of us. So I'm chasing the other guy. The third guy's still in the basement, and he took over the game for me. And run around the house, end up back downstairs. And he's like, okay, I'll give you your phone. And he's like, I won't send it to your mom. And I'm like, all right, fine, give me it. So I take it, and we walk back over to the TV, and the third guy has his phone out, and he's watching the P Word. And I'm going to just say that because I'm sure we can all figure out what that means. And he's watching it for whatever reason. It was one of the most random things I had ever witnessed, and one of the most guilty things I've felt as a 12-year-old. And he's just, I don't even know why, but looking at videos on that website and blasting it. And I'm sitting there, and so is the other guy, and we're like, we don't know what to do, but we're curious. And so that was the thing about lust for me at the time. It planted a very detrimental and bad seed in my heart that has since been problematic today with relationships that I've had in the way that I view women. And as a 12-year-old, I didn't know what to do with that. I wasn't Christian at the time. I really wasn't. I didn't know anything about religion. In fact, I was probably closer to an atheist, as much as a 12-year-old could really be, but I didn't know anything about religion is basically the point. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, it felt good, but it made me feel incredibly guilty, because I was like, I don't know what my parents would think about this. I don't know what my friends would think about this. Well, not these friends, but other friends and my brothers. I'm like, I feel like this is incredibly wrong. I don't know what to do with that. But at the same time, I was enjoying it. And so I just sat there in my own confusion. And after that, a journey of lust began. All from that one little sleepover that I had with my friends that was supposed to be innocent, fun, and not anything disgusting or not anything sinful. It wasn't supposed to be any of that. And so that has become more common in this day and age. And that's because of phones. That's because of social media. That's because of this standard, this norm that is set, that it's like, we should please our flesh. We should please the desires that we want. And I didn't know what to do with it at all. I had nothing to reference. I didn't have a Bible. I didn't know what to tell my parents because I feared of getting in trouble. And so from then on, I didn't look at anything for about 2 to 3 months. And out of the blue, I had an inclination. And that's typically how it starts, is we see it one time, we're confused, we feel guilty, but we liked it, we don't know what to do with it, and we just forget about it because a lot of us are so young when we first see it that our minds move on to the next thing, but it ends up coming back later when we hit puberty and when we start growing up a little bit. And a couple months later, I find myself on that website, and I'm like, it was dangerous. It felt dangerous. It felt risky. It felt like something I shouldn't be doing, which is exactly why I did it. And that really segued into this lustful problem that I would have. As of today, I'm 19 years old. I struggled with it for 7 years. 7 years probably doesn't seem like a long time for some people, but for me, I started being able to remember things when I was like 8 years old, 7 years old. So like, it feels like a good chunk of my life I've struggled with this, and I haven't been able to have genuine relationships with people because lust gets in the way. I keep looking at people with fleshly desire and using them for my own good, when I shouldn't be doing that. There's way more to a relationship than lust. Actually, lust isn't even a part of the puzzle in a relationship. That's just something we do. That's something that society tells us we need to contain and put into our relationship, because what is a relationship without lust? And a lot of us, we think that's not possible. We're like, oh, what can I do if I don't have lust in my relationship? What can I do if I don't sleep with my partner at 17, 16 years old? What good is the relationship without that? And we think it's impossible because our friends tell us, oh no, you should go sleep with that girl because they're gonna be your hype man. They're gonna boost your confidence. They're gonna tell you, oh, you're doing every little thing right, and you should go and take away from that woman's soul, take away from that woman's body, and use her as a lustful tool. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. And I've sat around and I've thought about it, and I'm just like, every time I fall into that lustful temptation, I sit in filth. I sit in disgust. I'm like, I don't want to be this way anymore. I'm so tired of this. I want to be different. I want to follow Jesus. I don't want this lust anymore because it takes away from the genuine relationships that I want to have. And that's my testimony on that, is that I struggled with it for so long, and I'm sick and I'm tired of it. And I don't know where else to run to, except the Bible as my father, is that he has all the answers to this. If one moment we could stop looking at what our brain has to say about something, if one moment we could stop basing our faith off of feeling instead of on spirit, then maybe we would have more in a relationship with God. Maybe we would be able to have more of a relationship with the person we love, or the person we like or have a crush on, or romantically want to have a relationship with them. Okay? And so that leads us into 1 John chapter 16 through 17. Because all that is in the world, the desire of the flesh and the desire of the eyes and the arrogance produced by material possession, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world is passing away with all its desires, but the person who does the will of God remains forever. The feeling we get from our little lustful desires, from our little experimentation, from the websites we go on, the social medias we look at, the Instagram photos we look at of that attractive person, all that little feeling that you get for however many seconds or minutes or with that person isn't equal to the love that Jesus has to give you. It's way more than that. It's way more than that. And it takes somebody to realize that in order to stop their lustful desires, because it's not just a little thing that goes away instantly. It's that we build that relationship with Jesus where we can't even focus on our lust anymore, where we're so focused on the love of the Father and what love really means instead of what the love that this world tells us means. Because the love of this world tells us that we need to be chasing after the next temptation. We need to be feeling so good that we need to be feeling so bad that our first inclination should be to drink, sleep with a person, make out with somebody, go do drugs, and then get that little buzz feeling, that little excitement that you've been chasing after, which really solves nothing. Okay? Oh my gosh, these are all the things. I'm not even preaching to somebody on this website. I'm preaching to myself here, because I am so done with it. I'm so done with it. every day it's like there's a new lustful obstacle that I deal with. I figure out a temporary solution to it, which a lot of the times has nothing to do with God, has nothing to do with him. And then it comes back and bites me bigger than the last time. And it drags me. It's like I go up 10 feet, and then it takes me down 12, and then I go up 8 and it takes me down 15, and every time I end up lower than I was before when I thought I reached a high that was so incredibly just unmatchable. I felt like I was invincible. I felt like I was immune because I chased that temporary high to stay away from lust. And things like that can be like dopamine rushes. It can be, let me distract myself with everyone around me or a job. All that, even just distracting us with stress. We think that will get rid of our lustful desires, but distraction isn't what takes away lust. It's not. And I have friends that have struggled with lust who have a million things set out throughout their day, so that way they have no room to lust. But at the end of the night, when they get back in bed, when they're completely tired and exhausted, they still fall into lust. It's because the problem, or the solution to the problem, isn't setting up distractions. Of course, focusing on God and producing good works will always lead to good, but the distractions in your life don't get rid of lust. It doesn't get rid of your lustful desires, because at the end of the day, you still have your head, you still have your brain, you still have your mind when you get in bed. So all those temptations can still rush to your brain and you'll fall into it. And so the solution to it is Jesus. Building that relationship where that love is so, you can't even pierce through it. It's that you are so attached to him that every time a lustful desire even comes to your head after not being there for a couple weeks, you say no, because I choose the real love over the fake love. Okay, and that's what I'm preaching to you all here. That's what I'm preaching to myself here, is that choose Jesus's love. Okay, because what feels good to the flesh is detrimental to your soul. Stop falling into lust. Stop looking at women with deceitfulness. Stop looking at women with using them for a tool. And women, stop looking at dudes to mask a pain that you once felt. Stop looking at men as a reason to brag to your friends as to how you did something with someone else and they didn't. Stop it. Everyone, just stop. Okay? So, kind of a heavier episode, because this one hits home for me. It's one of the, I struggle with sin every single day. This is the sin that kills me. This is the sin that makes me feel I'm not worth it. This is the sin that makes me feel like I just can't do anything to solve it. But it's the most complex things that really have a simple solution. We run through the train tracks in our mind as to how we'll solve this problem ourselves, but really the simple solution is just to listen to Jesus. Stop focusing on stuff. Stop focusing on that sin. Focus on Jesus, because when you have your eyes set on him, you have no room for anything else. All right, so I love you guys. Okay, I hope this message blessed you all. Again, I know it was a bit of a video. Yeah. So if you guys relate at all, leave a comment or don't. Anyone who comments that they're struggling, reply back, say I'm praying for you. Like, we need to just pray for our brothers and sisters. We need to pray for our brothers and sisters, pray for ourselves. Because this world is attacking us. Every day there's a newer way, there's an easier way to access the P word. And it's sickening, it's disgusting, because it takes away from what true marriage and true bond looks like with another person. All right, so hope this bless you guys. See ya.